Hey Dallas, are y'all early voting? November 1st is the last day to early vote. Get there today. They close at 5. Friday, tomorrow, they close at 5. And I believe Saturday, 7 to 7. I'm looking at all of these many propositions. Proposition R and Proposition U have caught my attention in particular, because this is talking about things that make a big difference. I think all of them have some validity. That's why they brought them up, because people have voted and said, hey, these are things that are important to us. But Proposition U, let me see if I can. There's some more in here too, but now that these have caught my attention, I just kind of wanted to jump on real quick and talk about them. Proposition U, police and fire funding appropriation. This is saying that they want to hire multiple additional police officers, requires an annual survey of 1,400 Dallas residents, which will result in a bonus to the city manager of the firing of the city manager. Which will result in a bonus to the city manager or the firing of the city manager. Survey that will require a minimum of 4,000 Dallas police officers effective on passage, and to maintain that ratio of officers to the population. Requires at least 50% of actual or estimated annual revenue that exceeds the actual revenue of the prior fiscal year. It's a bunch of language. Let's get to pros and cons, okay? Reasons to vote for or against the Proposition U. Proposition reasons to vote for it. 1, the city government should be responsive to the residents. 2, the police and fire pension fund is currently only 39% funded and under a state mandate to present a plan by November 1st to adequately fund it. Okay. Goodness gracious. I have my retainer in, and I'm having, things are kind of juicy today. I'm having it. Suddenly I'm salivating. Okay. Sidebar, sorry. Reasons to vote against. All right, so let me get in the light so I can see what I need to see. I have on glasses, and yet this writing is still exceptionally tiny. Good night. Okay, reasons to vote against. In September, the city approved a plan to contribute $11 billion to the police and fire pension system over 30 years to comply with the Texas law aimed at keeping the system solvent, making this proposition unnecessary. 2, per the FBI's 2019 Crime in the United States report, Dallas has approximately 2.26 police officers per 1,000 population. This compares favorably with Houston, who only has a 2.23, San Antonio 1.47, and Fort Worth 1.8 per 1,000 population. Granted, every city's public safety needs are different, but it does not appear that Dallas is drastically short of police officers. 3, the proposition would require immediate hiring over 900 new officers. However, the police chief has said it can only hire and train 250 new recruits next year, and the city would have difficulty training any more than that. If passed, this proposition could result in drastic reduction of standards. 4, adding 900 officers would cost more than $175 million, including more patrol car would cost more than 125. Sorry, let me do that again. These numbers make a difference. Adding 900 officers would cost more than $175 million, including more patrol cars and equipment. The city is currently facing a budget shortfall. Funding this proposition will come at the expense of other necessary city services, including salaries of city personnel such as firefighters. The proposition is effective on passage with no allowance for a time period in which to hire new officers. If the proposition on this ballot, which opens the city to more lawsuits, is also passed, the city could be sued by a resident claiming the city is not in compliance with this new ordinance, because they'd have to keep these extra 900 people on staff at all times. So yeah, they're just going to be funneling people through because you got to get them trained. And if you can only handle capacity of 250 in a year, who's training the other 700 people? 650. Who's training the other 650 people? You're not. Police officer training is not. I can go to a webinar in 5 days to be done. Listen. This is an exorbitant amount. Placing a mandate in the charter as to how 50% of additional revenue can be used could prohibit a future city council from funding responses to future emergencies or necessities. That's Proposition U. So they're saying, please vote against this because 900 officers from where? And who's training? Who's doing the 900? Because we only have capacity bandwidth for 250. So, and then not only that, but now we need more equipment. Now we need a whole nother $175,000 budget. And then people like firefighters that are in the trenches as well, serving the city. Now money's being pulled from them. Money's being pulled from city officials, personnel. Where are we getting this money from? Sounds like more taxes to me. So that's Proposition U. Can vote for it, but it's going to cost. And who's paying the cost? And how are we going to get this done? 900? 175 million? So vote against, meaning we ain't with it. We ain't with it. If that's what you decide to do. Can't tell you what to do. I'm just reading the nonpartisan facts from this good old voting guide. And I've been over here. I was supposed to already have this done, but there's so many propositions. I wanted to read through them first. And I'm sure that there's other things in here. There's police and fire funding appropriation. I don't want to make a 30-minute video. I was just going to get on here and do a quick 3 minutes, but it's so much good stuff in here. The other one is that I must talk about Proposition R. They have all these dispensaries everywhere. Yeah. Las Vegas. We have dispensaries even here in Dallas. In New York, they're like food trucks. The last time I was in Times Square, just pull up and get your cotton candy and your cupcakes and your gummy worms. And I was like, really? This is a thing? Of course, that was years ago. I don't know what it is recently because I've not been back to New York. Probably in the last year or so. It's been a while. I haven't done any traveling. I have been inundated. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Proposition R, okay? Important. This special edition proposition, again, forgive me. There's a bunch of lisping and waterworks happening. Sorry, y'all. Reform marijuana enforcement. Now, let me give you a disclaimer. I do not smoke. I'm not a smoker. I don't smoke weed. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke cigars. I don't smoke. Okay. So I'm not advocating and I'm not in agreement with the fact that smoking is even a thing because health-wise, although there's some medicinal things that can be of great advantage, glaucoma, yeah. All the things we've already heard and read and researched, and some have experienced it for themselves. But this has come up. The proposition was proposed by the Ground Game Texas. They presented a petition with enough signatures to put it on the ballot. They're like, yeah, well, the people wanted it, so it's here. All right, so since it's here, let's read it. The description would prohibit the Dallas Police Department from enforcing laws on possession of 4 ounces or less of marijuana except in certain instances. They got to leave a little loophole in there. May subject police officers who violate this policy to discipline. Okay? So that's the Reform Marijuana Enforcement Proposition R. Proposition R. Reform Marijuana Enforcement. Okay? Now, let's read the reasons to vote against it. Sounds like a bunch of fear-mongering and what if and oh God, they might to me. But let's read it. Let's read it out loud so you can hear it. Number 1, this should be done at the state level, not the city. It would contravene current state law. 2, punishes police officers for enforcing state laws or for being biased. And trust me, I know and have met wonderful, wonderful officers, but we know that the others exist as well. Okay. Number 3, will probably be challenged in court, costing the city attorney's fees, awaiting the outcome of lawsuits involving the validity of similar ordinances in other Texas cities, and then placing a similar proposition before city voters if the court permits this type of law would save Dallas attorney's fees. Sound like we're keeping everybody honest to me, but okay. What is this for? If this proposition passes and the proposition also in this ballot passes, which allows residents to sue the city for non-enforcement of state laws, local laws, the city could face competing lawsuits from someone claiming the city is not enforcing the state law that prohibits position, and a different lawsuit from someone claiming the city is not enforcing this prohibition on enforcement. All right, y'all. It's a bunch of words. What if they sue us? Well, what if you throw people in jail and destroy their life and their ability to work and support their families or be a part of the society because you locked them up for a year or 5 years or 10 years because of 2 ounces? And you got people on the other side of town that have a full brick and mortar selling the same stuff, and y'all ain't bothering them. But y'all harassing and running down people for 2 ounces, 4 ounces. And now they've been in jail, and now you got a record. Now you can't get a job. Now you in and out in the system, cycling through because you didn't go meet your parole. You caused a lot of problems with somebody on the other side done the same exact thing. Yeah. And then also on the other side of town, there are other people that are doing much worse, much worse, much worse. And y'all ain't doing all of this. Y'all ain't doing all this. But y'all like to put certains. Okay? Y'all like to put certain people just for, existing. Cause you don't think. So let's even the playing field. It's all good. If it's good for the goose, be good for the gander. Listen, I'm not advocating that we allow drugs to run rampant across the city. I'm saying if you're gonna punish this group of people that happen to be non-white, that happen to be minority, that happen to be Hispanic, Black, otherwise, if you're gonna punish them for these small things, then don't let someone have a whole inventory warehouse supply and it's legal over. How? Make it make sense, Quay. So anyway, reasons to vote for would free up resources to focus on violent and serious crimes and reduce the number of people going to jail for possession. Sound logical to me. Okay. 90% of those arrested for possession of less than 2 ounces in 2018 were non-white. Are they telling us anything new? They're not teaching us nothing new. We already know this, but I'm happy y'all got it in writing so y'all can at least acknowledge that it's happening. It's not fair. Not fair. All right. Number 3, Austin, San Marcos, Killeen, Elgin, and Denton have similar city ordinances, although they are engaged in legal challenges. Those are reasons to vote for it. So Proposition R and Proposition U, I think would be wonderful things to consider to vote for, to keep people honest, so that everybody gets a fair shake, and we're holding people accountable that are just out here doing things because they felt like it that day and ruining people's lives. I don't know, again, why people do what they do. I don't know if you got some kind of, stress, and I know stress is heavy. We don't have what you need to have. I don't know the reasons why people feel like they have to have whatever they have to have. But if it's going to be good over here, make it good over here too. All I'm saying. All right, so Proposition R and Proposition U. And I don't know if they're going to have any of this kind of verbiage on the actual ballots, but we're taking a look to see. Okay, that's my 2 cents in the pot. Do with it whatever you would like, honey bun. You guys go do some early voting and do not wait until November 5th when you got to go stand in that long, long line. Excuse me. You can do early voting through November 1st. Okay? All right, Dallas. Happy voting. We got some work ahead of us here with this election business. All right. Take care of yourselves. Bye.